Thank you, Mark. Welcome to Commonwealth Stadium. The Blue Bombers and the Eskimos underway, vying for a position in the 2002 Grey Cup Championship game against the Montreal Alouettes. And Chris, a very sharp opening series for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, Edmonton's just done exactly what they want to do. They came out with a little bit of six-pack receivers, a little confusion in the defensive secondary of the Bombers. The offensive line giving Ricky Ray all kinds of time to throw that football.
3 consecutive first downs, then a 9-yard gain by Avery, and Ray plunging forward for the first down.
Well, the biggest thing we talked about, the fact is that Avery has to touch this football. He does it in the opening kickoff. We saw him bust off the left side for a huge run. Now you see everybody getting involved. The short yardage plunge, getting behind the big guys. Ricky Ray just ducking ahead, following the big boys up front, picking up another first down.
Avery with first down completions to Ed Hervey and Rick Walters. Then a 15-yard carry by Avery. A pass to Avery for 9, and now Ray is decked back at the 40, somehow stayed up and now is down way back at the 42 for the first time today. Heat on the Eskimo quarterback.
Well, earlier in this drive, Wayne Weathers is in. He bit on the play action fake. Benefield doesn't. He stands to the outside, and that's exactly what you got to do. Don't bite on it. Ricky Ray very fortunate. That ball comes out, comes up with it again, stays on his feet. Then the turf takes care of the rest. He slides down. He's covered by McGriggs and Fortney. Way back at the Bomber 42.
A loss of 17. 2nd and 27. The Blue Bombers have not surrendered an opening drive touchdown this season. Drop the ball off the snap, and Ray gets back on it. And this is a real concern for the Eskimos. 27 turnovers in the last 7 games, and in the last 2 Western Finals, an astonishing 21 turnovers. Fortunately, Ray gets back on this ball.
Well, the big thing, I mean, if you even break it down to 4 games, the last 4 games, they have 10 fumbles. That's the thing they've talked about. They went back last week. They had training camp in the bye week. One of the things they want to do is take care of the football, work on mental assignments. We've seen mishandled 2 plays in a row by the quarterback, Ricky Ray.
4 straight first downs, and then, well, they use the up man, and here's Mike Bradley. And Bradley down to the 20, first down. Oh, a little razzle-dazzle on special teams, and how about that? 3rd and 27, and they convert.
Well, I mean, they just do a direct snap to Terry Ray. Now, I don't know if it's designed or not, but what great presence of mind. He's going to get the football. He goes off and he pitches it inside now. Little shovel pass of his own, right to Mike Bradley. He does the rest. Sidestep a would-be tackler and takes it downfield. Aubrey Bruce tries to get him, he can't. And there you see Jamie Stoddard finally taking him out of bounds.
An undrafted free agent out of Waterloo. Mike Bradley's called Rudy here in Edmonton, and the first big play for the Eskimos. 1st and 10, and Ray looks right side. Chris Brazel unable to hang on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Bradley loves the fact that he at least gets to touch the football. He hasn't touched it at all since the beginning of August. That's 9 football games. Right away, they come out with a little razzle-dazzle, as you say. Terry Ray, but I gotta love what he does here. Great presence of mind. Nice job, Ricky Ray. Brazil trying to come back in, make the catch.
And Ricky Bell, who Dave Ritchie says brings a nasty attitude to the football field with the contact. Brazel part of that outstanding Eskimo receiving corps. So while Brazel gets attention, we'll take a timeout. 4.5 minutes in. We're still scoreless in Edmonton. Mike Bradley provided the Eskimos with 35 yards of offense all year, 31 on this play.
Well, it's going to be a direct snap right to Terry Ray, but the biggest thing is Freezer right there. He's going to pitch the ball. He's got to take him. As a result, when he pitches it, he's home free. Mike Bradley does the rest, does a nice job avoiding tackles, and a big play for special teams early.
On 3rd and 27, now it's 2nd and 10 for Ray, and that pass off the outstretched hand of Scott Robinson, who took the spot of Chris Brazel, and it brings up 3rd down.
And I love the fact, I really believe, especially early in the game, if you're going to run some trickery on special teams, perfect timing. You know why? Because everybody is fired up. They're so focused on doing their assignments, on getting to the punter, a lot of times they forget about even the possibility of a fake.
And if it's not converted, they give Winnipeg the ball on their side of the field. So a good calculated gamble by the Eskimos that pays off and could result in the first 3 points of the game. Sean Fleming, 26 of 29 from inside the 40, and that's automatic from 20 out. Just the second team to even register a field goal against Winnipeg on an opening drive this year. The last team, Eric Tillman's Renegades, back in week 3, so points early against the Bombers are hard to come by.
Remember the pressure they're under right now. They're playing in front of their home crowd. They want to host. They want to keep their locker room. I mean, to come out in the opening drive, I thought they looked very sharp.
Now Kahari Jones in his third consecutive division final as the quarterback of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, again without Milt Stiegel. They were able to generate offense last week against BC, 395 yards. Can they do it against the Eskimos defense? Play action. Kahari Jones over the middle. Incomplete, was looking for Jeff Drover. And Jones hit on the first offensive play.
Well, he's trying to get him in good coverage right there by Donnie Brady. You see Kahari Jones, Mike Sellers, the man they call Thunder, and Roberts, the Lightning back. Stoddard, Bruce inside, Howell, and Drover at the wide receiver position. And a good offensive line played very well. BCO, Wanibi, Wilson, Mudge, and Garrick Jones at the left tackle.
A big reason, the consolidation of that offensive line, why the Blue Bombers have won 6 straight games, 2nd and 10. Fans revved early at Commonwealth Stadium. Time for Jones, and now he's flushed out. Flag is down, and Kahari brought down at the 36. Kelvin Kinney, who played on one leg 2 weeks ago for the Eskimos, getting to the quarterback.
Well, they bring 4, and that's just the front 4, defensive line. Nice job of putting pressure on Kenny Reese, Charbonneau, Alfred Payton, the leading sack getter in the CFL this year with 16. The linebacking crew, Powell in the middle, Terry Ray, Signor Mobley at the linebacking position, and a secondary, Kellogg, Garrett Brady, the halfback, Crutchfield, and Malcolm Frank at the quarterback position.
Holding penalty declined by Edmonton. Bob Cameron about to punt for the 250th time in his distinguished playoff career. Winston October on a hop, and they get the no yards call as he's down to the 36. A 39-yard Cameron punt, and let's check the Canadian Tire game notes.
Well, I tell you what, for Winnipeg, balanced attack, you've got to get the running game going, but don't forget the aerial attack. Get those receivers, get them going early. On defense, beware the 6-pack. We already saw that right now. We knew that Edmonton was going to come out with 6 receivers trying to get a one-on-one situation, looking for a mismatch. For Edmonton on offense, you got to get Avery involved early and often. He wants the football. He wants to be the man. They've done some stuff with him already. And on defense, stop the storm. That means you got to stuff Thunder and Lightning. That means you got to stop Sellers and Charles Roberts.
Well, a promising start for the Eskimos, who put a premium on early offensive success. And we've seen Ricky Ray go to the air, and he's looking deep. And Hervey, did he hang on? Yes! What a catch!
Going deep down the seam. Harold Nash, Ricky Bell. He'd have none of it, but great protection. Sitting back there. Ricky Ray unloads it deep. Ricky Bell's in there, jars the ball loose, but tremendous concentration to keep focusing on that football and bring it in for a great catch.
A man with world-class speed. Ray got the assignment over Jason Moss today, who usually likes to throw the long ball. Terry Vaughn inside, down to the 10, and this Eskimo offense is firing early.
Well, this Edmonton offense doesn't look anything like the offense we saw in the last game between these two teams. They're fired up, they're bringing everything out. The playbook, I tell you what, pages 1 to 100, we're going to use them all today. Little shovel pass instead of using Avery. Hey, let's use the slot back, Terry Vaughn. He gets around from the other side, comes across. If he's covered, I'll keep the football. If he's not, I'll pitch it to him. He pitches to him. Terry Vaughn does a nice job.
2nd and 1 from the 11, and Ray plunges forward to move the sticks, and now we're in a goal-to-go situation for the Eskimos. And remember, this Winnipeg team has not surrendered double digits in points over the last 3 weeks.
Well, the whole key to beating any defense is to keep them off balance, and I think that's exactly what the Eskimo offense is doing now. We've seen the six-pack, we've seen the shovel pass, we've seen the deep ball right now. They've actually got Winnipeg's defense on their heels.
Chris Brazel back in the game. It's 1st and goal from the 8. John Avery flags down. Avery skips outside. Let's wait for the penalty markers.
Well, flag thrown to the far side of the field.
Dave Ewell in charge.
Offside. Winnipeg 99. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
Wayne Weathers and John Avery into the end zone. A quick Eskimo lead.
Well, John Avery, who says, which is really unbelievable, he prefers to play on grass versus turf. He says he feels like he's a better back. But this is all breaking tackles. This is all effort by number 20 as he skedaddles to the outside, breaks another tackle, and takes it into the end zone.
Fleming adds the extra point. In the last 3 weeks, they allowed 18 points. The Bombers have given up 10 in the opening 8 minutes here. The CFL's leading rusher during the regular season storms in from 8 yards out.
Well, the key is, there's your lead blocker, the backup offensive lineman, Tim Balker, and he does a nice job of blocking out on Wayne Weathers. Now, Freezer right there, take a look. There he's out of the picture. It's one-on-one right now, and what happens? Avery just breaks a tackle by Tom Europe and then skips into the end zone.
Bombers have not had this kind of adversity in well over a month. Arlen Bruce from his 20. And you can see the Green and Grove are stoked today.
Well, the offense does its job. The special teams, they say, you know what? We're a big part of this football game. We already saw the fake punt, but coverage is so important. But look at the anatomy of the drive, the deep ball. And then, of course, you talk about this guy's how you finish it off. Little stiff arm, little shake and bake, get to the outside, take it in for a touchdown.
There you go, baby.
Bruce Beaton told me yesterday this guy's a cross between Mike Pringle and Pinball Clemens, and he's even quicker.
Scary combination.
Now the fans urging the defense as the Bombers have to get started. And here's a give to Charles Roberts, nothing doing. Alfred Payton, the former Bomber, leading the Green Surge.
The guys in the middle do a wonderful job of beating the initial blocking. Right here, these two guys, that's Reese and Charbonneau. You can't get that kind of penetration. You want to run the football, you have got to at least stalemate on the line of scrimmage. You get pushed back in, the play is dead.
You know, Chris, the last time Winnipeg was here, those two backs, Thunder and Lightning, had just 23 yards rushing between them. 2nd and 11 after a loss of 1. Jones on the roll, dumps it off, and now Mike Sellers goes to work up to the 30, but he's short of a first down, and Kelvin Powell gets in the face of the big fullback from Winnipeg.
Well, Kari Jones very lucky to get this ball off. They're just coming right after him right now, and it's all bull rushes. You see that Alfred Payton is bull rushing against Dave Mudge. Kahari just flops it over, gets it over to Mike Sellers, but Mike Sellers can't pick up the first down. And as a result, we see Bob Cameron in a punting situation.
Bob Cameron's been in 6 Grey Cups. Winston October had to fight the sun, and another no yards call as he's taken down at the 42, a 38-yard Cameron punt. But no yards will be the call.
Well, nice job of the ball hanging up. Bob gets a nice high kick in the sun. Winston October fights off the sun, catches it.
No yards. Winnipeg 26. First down.
But Milo Lewis on the coverage team within that 5-yard zone, and that'll cost him.
The Eskimos said they used the first week of the break for a tune-up, and the motor is running very high at the moment, 120 yards against a stingy Dave Ritchie-led Bomber defense in the opening 10 minutes. And they start on the Winnipeg side of the field. Ricky Ray, with Doug Brown bearing down wisely, ditches the football incomplete.
They're putting him in bad situations, and I mean that defensively. They don't know. Ricky Ray's not sitting in a pocket. He's doing a lot of stuff. You see Ricky Ray, John Avery, who has a touchdown already. Bacher listed the fullback. That's mainly short yardage. He's basically a backup offensive lineman. Vaughn and Tucker inside. Hervey, Brazel at the wide receiver. And a big offensive line is doing a good job right now. Princeton, Comiskey, Groenewegen, Morris, and Beaton.
Big play on the third down. Fake punt by Bradley. The unbelievable catch by Hervey and the running of John Avery. And the Eskimos trying to work on this 10-0 lead. Here's Jason Tucker, all Canadian, stripped of the football, and he gets back on it, back on the Edmonton side of half. Brian Clark, who had a monster game against the Eskimos 2 weeks ago, knocked it loose.
Well, he had a great game last week, and it's just a matter of Marvin Coleman gets beat a little bit, but you got to have help. It's all team game. Everybody comes across, they strip the football from Jason Tucker as Brian Clark again. And remember the last time these two teams met, he caused the big goal line fumble by John Avery that nullified a scoring opportunity for the Eskimos.
So third down and 15. Randy Chevrier snaps
Hands
it
in
back
him, hands
to
in.
Sean Fleming. Arlen Bruce at his 10. Arlen Bruce looking for a seam. Roger Reinson, one of the first men downfield. A 12-yard return. So a touchdown for Roger Reinson against Montreal on Thanksgiving on a special teams play as we join Brenda.
Well, Chris, footwear was a concern for both of these teams heading into this game. The field is fairly icy, with the exception of around the sideline. So what the players decided it would determine what they'd wear is personal preference and their position. Now, Dave Butch of the Bombers told me that 7-stud shoes are what most of the linemen will be wearing so they get good traction. Chris?
Here's Mike Sellers, who should get good traction at 275 pounds. Now the Bombers were very careful about the footwear. It looked like a shoe fair yesterday when they all got on the field after practice.
Well, the biggest thing about it is beneath the surface you have the frost line, and they only go so far. Once the cleats hit the frost line, you're basically slipping anywhere.
8 for Sellers, 2nd and 2. Was it time count or early movement? And now the former Eskimo, Sellers and Kelvin Powell, resume their debate.
Well, that's what you expect right now when it's a do-or-die situation right now. The winner goes to the cup, the loser packs the garbage bags and goes home.
And it is against the Bombers.
Illegal procedure. Winnipeg 64. Still second down.
Well, Wanibi with the procedure, and all that is a lot of times is the offensive linemen are basically telling everybody else who they have. The defense is doing a nice job. You can see him just kind of rocking a little bit, and that's all he's doing. He's looking down. He wants to see it. When you got that much weight, kind of really hard to stop the momentum.
Mo got leaning a little too far, and it means it's 2nd and 7. Oh, jeez. Harry Jones in trouble again. Steve Charbonneau, the former Alouette, gets to the quarterback.
Steve Charbonneau, Albert Reese are really keys on this defensive line. They're the interior linemen. They just get in there, and it's nothing fancy, folks. Straight bull rush. And Alfred Payton, what happens is when Alfred Payton comes from the outside, because of the push in the middle, that forces the quarterback back, that stretches the pocket, that allows your ends to collapse and get on the quarterback.
Charbonneau grabbing cloth and pulling Jones down, and Cameron has to punt it away, and October will step over midfield and then get knocked back, tries it a second time, and Two great special teams guys, Wade Miller and the Hawk, Doug Hocking, bring him to the turf.
You see Doug Brown coming on the field right now, the big man.
Top Canadian for the Bombers.
Little concerned right now the way things are going. Brown and Fortney in the middle. Rectorfield, Wayne Weathers at the end. They'll alternate with Benefield, McGriggs, Wickman, Clark in the linebacking position. And a good secondary, Milo Lewis, Ricky Bell, Tom Europe, Nash, and Marvin Coleman at the cornerback.
But you made a good observation in the warm-ups. The Eskimos were running slants, a lot of straight line stuff. There's the Bombers encroaching. The play doesn't get underway. And the Bombers were trying to make cuts on this turf, and they didn't look as comfortable.
They were working on doing cuts coming back to the football, and they were stuttering. They almost looked they were a rock skipping across the waters to try to find some firm base footing for their
Illegal
for their
procedures.
shooters.
Edmonton number 67. Still first down.
All Edmonton was doing was just little slanting patterns. Let's get the ball to them quick. Remember, offense, the receivers always have the advantage on a slick field. They know where they're going.
6-year vet Dan Komisky, who Tom Higgins mentioned yesterday, has really come on for the green and gold, called for the procedure. So it's 1st and 15. Back on the Edmonton 52. Ray somehow got that away, but what a jolt from Lamar McGriggs.
Well, they bring everybody, and they also bring Tom Europe. Now, Tom Europe had a sack last game. The problem with this is it's zero defense. Boy, you're taking a chance because there's nobody in the middle of the field. There's Europe. Now, there's nobody back here. If he can get that ball off, the receiver has to see this. You see the blitz. You adjust your route. You're told you go to the middle of the football field where there's an opening.
Now, Chris, the Bombers aren't usually like that. You think they have to put the...
Well, you don't ever want to let a guy like Ricky Ray get comfortable.
Just wondering if they are starting to take a few chances to alter the direction of this game. It's been all Edmonton so far. There's an incompletion. Brazel, the intended receiver, and it brings up 3rd down.
And once again, the field is the victor on that one as Brazel just loses his footing again, going to the sidelines. Little out pattern. He falls down and the ball sails away from him, incomplete.
You know, the conditions almost ideal, but it is November. This field has been frozen. It softens up, and it will even change during the course of the game.
Well, and the thing is, players come out and they try their footwear on before the game, but until you're in the actual battle, you don't know what's going to work. Yeah, they may feel good. All of a sudden, things aren't working. You got to go back to the old bag of shoes and try something that will work.
Arlen Bruce lets it skip into the end zone, and he'll go back. See if he can draw somebody into that 5-yard restraining. Meanwhile, Sean Fleming was getting beaten up back at the 30-yard line because, of course, he was eligible to come down and grab that football.
Nice job by Brad Yamoka. Special teams does a nice job of staying, not allowing Fleming to come down. Remember, there is no 5-yard zone for the punter. He's free. He'd go down and recover that football. But Yamoka 30 says, no, I'll have none of that. You know what? There's another positive side to this. This is one of those opportunities, Chris, you can get a lick on a kicker. And you know what? When you got a guy that's kicking at 81% field goals, hey, maybe bang him up a little.
Well, it is a 62-yard single for Sean Fleming, and an 11-0 Edmonton lead with 55 seconds to play in a first quarter dominated by the Eskimos. There's Terry Ray, part of a terrific Eskimo linebacking core. 2 and outs for the Bombers on their first 2 possessions. Mike Sellers puts his head down and tries to run over Kelvin Powell. Jack Kellogg, who missed the first week of practice during the break because of a bruised sternum, also in as we rejoin Brenda.
Well, Chris, it's interesting on the Bombers sideline. We've been following this team the past couple of weeks. It's certainly a different Bombers crew. Obviously, they're a little bit disappointed with what's going on here today. Garrick Jones was giving it to teammate Eric Wilson, telling him to keep pushing, not give up, in so many words. Mike Sellers agitated on the sidelines as well, trying to motivate his team. A different mood than we have seen in the past few games anyway.
Well, they haven't been able to rev up yet. Here's Kahari Jones on 2nd down, and a flag goes down. The pass intended for Jamie Stoddard and Donnie Brady.
Donnie Brady's
shaken
going to
up.
get flagged, as you say. Slides safely into
Forward pass it.
his team's bench, but I mean, he was all over.
Forward pass interference.
Jamie Stoddard.
Edmonton 26. First down.
That's the initial first down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And the interesting thing about that, Chris, is really that ball was not catchable. There was no way that Jamie Stoddard was going to come up with that catch. Brady, of course, just doing his job, seeing him get little separations, figures, I got to do what I got to do. Nullify that, any chance of being completed.
Stoddard a touchdown in the Western Semi against BC. His only regular season touchdown came against the Edmonton Eskimos. First down, up at the 47. Jones looking deep, looking for Stoddard, who stretched out, and more flags. And again, it was Donnie Brady.
Well, I tell you what, you can't do this. I mean, Donnie Brady's got coverage down the field. Jamie Stoddard just stays on his route, keeps running.
Forward
Donnie
pass
Brady sees it.
interference. Edmonton 26. First
It's the
down.
tug of the jersey. You can't be tugging. You're going to see the hand just come right. Now he's just going to pull. Just working on that thing.
You know, the way I saw that, that's just a hand fight between receiver and defender. But the Bombers get the benefits of a couple of close calls that Tom Higgins can't be happy with. Right now we wonder where Charles Roberts is in the Bomber scheme of things. Not in at the moment as Jones looks downfield for Arlen Bruce. Overthrown with Crutchfield defending on the play.
Well, Crutchfield and Jackie Kellogg both double coverage. Kahari Jones trying to go deep to the corner, trying to put some points on the board and get Winnipeg back in this football game.
All Eskimos through 15 minutes at Commonwealth.
Welcome back to Edmonton's Commonwealth Stadium. While Charles Roberts hasn't seen action in the last couple of series, apparently he has injured his shoulder. The doctors say that they will assess him at halftime and then determine whether he will be able to play. Chris?
Well, that is distressing news for the Blue Bombers. Dave Ritchie, no stranger to a division final, 5th time in 6 years. He's guided his team to a penultimate game in the season.
I have to get my dictionary and figure what that means.
There's Tom Higgins, who was in the West Final last year and called it the biggest coaching lesson of his career. It didn't go right at all against Calgary in a 34-16 loss that left the Eskimos out of the 2001 Grey Cup. 2nd and 10, the Bombers operating without Milt Stegall or Charles Roberts. And Kahari Jones looks downfield, and it's incomplete again. Jamie Stoddard, who played his intercollegiate football here in Edmonton, is the intended receiver, and a late flag well back near the line of scrimmage.
A late flag, but also I'm a little interested in making sure the Bomber receivers know where they have. Remember, you got
Major
a whole lot
foul,
of football field
unnecessary roughness. Edmonton 97. After the play, first down.
Kelvin Kinney just gave the Bombers a free first down.
Well, they only got 3 first downs now, and I believe they're all from penalty. But the play that really concerns me is that pass play, and I'm seeing Howell and Stoddard in the same vicinity. You want to spread the defense out, especially on a slick field. Don't bring them all in one corner.
3 straight first downs for the Bombers, courtesy of Eskimo penalties. So the ball moves down to the 18. Jeff Drover, Arlen Bruce to the right side. Sellers runs to the left, and Mike Sellers down at the 15.
That's a nice job of mixing up the defense of the Eskimos, because the defense has been slanting to the fullback. In this case, it's Wade Miller. He goes to the right. What do? They go the opposite way. They just give Sellers its backside, weak side, gets behind the center, Abisi. Nice kick out block by Garrick Jones. They pick up 4 yards, but it's another one of those things that's called a key breaker. Don't allow the defense to understand that you're going to do everything the same way, depending on where the fullback goes.
2nd and 7 from the 15. Jones with time, looks for Arlen Bruce, and he can't bring it down. Coverage there by the former Bomber, Shannon Garrett.
Well, you talked about all the troubles the Eskimos had last year in the West Final. One of the keys was that Shannon Garrett was injured and didn't get to play in that game. They had to bring some inexperienced defenders in, but I tell you what, Shannon Garrett says, you know what? No Milt Stiegel, I'll be all over this man. The next big weapon, Arlen Bruce, right in his hip pocket.
So the Bombers drive stalls, and Troy Westwood on to attempt a 22-yard field goal. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are on the board. 1:31 into the second quarter. Dave Ritchie's team now down by 8.
We're gonna take this home. We're gonna take this home. I'm getting my locker back, believe that.
Mike Sellers, a former Eskimo, and the team that wins this game will get the Eskimos locker room for the Grey Cup. And Mike Sellers started his CFL career in Edmonton. He wanted a game where he could carry the ball from the first quarter to the end. Be careful what you ask for. Now Charles Roberts out, and the Bombers probably wish they had both.
A nice job again going left side, right behind big Bruce Beaton. Take a look at the quarter stats. We have 2 first downs, and these 2 first downs are both the result of penalties. So if you want to really break it down further, there's no first downs by the Bomber offense. Edmonton with 8. I mean, that just affects right here. You took a look at this right here, and this will tell a story. 7 to 127.
Well, I don't think anybody anticipated that kind of a lopsided opening quarter. Ricky Ray on second down, and a catcher was it? The debate, Rick Walters comes down with the ball.
Ricky Walters thought he had the catch. The sideline judge comes back in. He's nodding yes, he did come up with a catch. Just going to sit in there, keep Avery in for added protection. This is a nice job of throwing the ball where only the receiver can catch it, Chris. If Rick Walters doesn't come up with it, there's no chance of an interception.
Rick Walters was saying yesterday, playoff actions like the Stanley Cup playoffs, a third or a fourth line guy can be a hero, and he makes a catch to keep a drive going, and now John Avery into the open field. Look out! And nailed at the 35 by Dave Donaldson, but John Avery's on the move and got a block from Chris Brazel.
Well, John Avery, I tell you what, nice job, but what a wonderful job of the offensive line picking up the blitz. Winnipeg gambled and got burnt. They brought all the linebackers. Once John Avery busted to the initial line of scrimmage, he's in the open field. Then he starts doing what he does best, and that's make people miss. Get some help, key blocks by the wide receivers.
31 for Avery on that scamper, first down. Ricky Ray lost his footing, somehow stays up, still going, and Ray does a terrific job just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Anoki Prechterfield finally hauls him down.
Well, David Benefield, you know what? You know how to play this game, playing defensive end. You better wrap him up. You're right there. You got a hand right there. You're going against the backup offensive line who's in there for blocking purposes as a fullback, but got to give Ricky Ray credit. Gets out there, beats the sack by Benefield, gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
David Benefield on a Grey Cup championship team in BC 2 years ago. 2nd and 10. Ray looked right, dumps it off left side. Avery got by Brian Clark, and it's another Edmonton first down. Little shake and bake on the fine Winnipeg linebacker Clark to spring loose.
Well, it's a great call, Chris. Let's run the screen. We're expecting pressure. You know what? Let's let everybody in. Sift, 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 pretend you're blocking, slide out. There's Benefield the end. I'm now in the open field. There's Brian Clark. I spin-a-rama. I make him miss. Now I'm in the field again. I'm making everybody miss. Then it's a gang tackle to bring him down, but momentum is definitely on the Eski offense.
The field has been tilted so far today. 1st and 10. That's Bradley getting a call. The man who really started things here with that big punt.
Well, Mike Bradley with his 13th carry of this season. Talk about the fact he hasn't carried the ball since the beginning of August, but look at this hole. That is just a nice job of the big boys up front creating an opening. I tell you what, I don't care if you're Bradley. I don't care if you're coming off the bench as a lineman. You're going to pick up something when you get a hole like that.
Second down. Ricky Ray, Terry Vaughn gets up and gets in. Terry Vaughn, touchdown, his first postseason major score.
As you say, Chris, the first preseason or postseason touchdown, first touchdown last 2 games. I mean, he is touchdown Terry Vaughn, that's his initials. But again, you gotta love the way that Ricky Ray, love to rhyme when I talk about it, gets outside and he mixes up his play selection. He runs the screen previous, then he hands it off to Mike Bradley, then he goes back, stretches him out, goes to the wide side of the field. Terry Vaughn does a nice job of going down, and that's the veteran presence. Picks it up and takes it into the end zone for another score.
8 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons for Terry Vaughn. Hard to believe he's never scored.
Well, I'll tell you what, right here, this is Bruce Beaton, and what a nice job he does on David Benefield. Let's run it right here. Now, he takes him way out there. Now, freeze it right here. Look at the line. Look at the throwing lane the quarterback has. That's what you want to do. You create that kind of opening, your quarterback in a comfort zone, and I tell you what, you're just in trouble the whole day unless you get some pressure.
Arlen Bruce on the kick return, and Bruce does a nice job and still going. Arlen Bruce across midfield, and Winnipeg needs that. Down by 15 after the Terry Vaughn touchdown. Again, his first ever in the postseason. Now John Avery with this tremendous burst, 31 yards.
Then it comes across, and there it is. A nice thing, and what great presence of mind. Terry Vaughn to get up and find the end zone and increase that lead to 18-3.
Eskimos have points on 4 of their first 5 possessions. And now Winnipeg with their best start at the 43 of Edmonton, Mike Sellers. And again, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers without Charles Roberts, without Milt Stegall.
You see the defenders right there. Dougie Brown, Ricky Bell, they're all looking. Got to get it figured out. That's why you play 4 quarters, but take a look. Mike Sellers is going to get the ball, and as soon as he gets the ball, you want to know how to wrap him up? You get him right at the, as soon as he gets that football in his mitts, you don't let him build up any head of steam. Nice job by the Eskies defenders.
Sellers lost 1, 2nd and 11. Here comes the blitz. Jones stands in. Chad Plummer with the catch and a first down, a flag down in the Winnipeg backfield. Chad Plummer, the former Argonaut, added after the injury to Milt Stegall.
Well, he's a big play receiver. And
Major foul, roughing the passer in the head area, Edmonton 97. First down.
Kelvin Kinney with his second roughing the passer. They'll tack in an additional 15 yards, but look at this job right here. That's a great job by Mo Elwanibi getting outside, picking up the blitzing Jackie Kellogg, which allows Kahari Jones that extra second to get it to Plummer.
So the infraction caused by Kinney's straight arm to the head. And once again, the Bombers offense getting help from an Eskimo infraction. First down at the 17. Kahari Jones for Arlen Bruce, held up. And the ball falls incomplete, and again, battling Shannon Garrett.
Arlen Bruce, you don't want to worry about drawing a flag. Just do your assignment. He stops running this route. He starts playing to the referee, trying to draw the flag. You got to keep going. Go where you're supposed to go. Talked about it earlier. You got to stay in there. He's saying, hey, you know what? I'm interfered with. Just keep going. If you keep going, there's a good chance that Shannon Garrett may draw the flag.
Just one catch for Bruce last week, a focal point without Stegall. And as you've mentioned twice now in the end zone, he's cut his route short. 2nd and 10. Jones looked across for Drover, incomplete. And the Eskimo defense stiffens.
Well, just going to try and slide Chad Plummer to the outside and drag the wide receiver Jeff Drover across the middle. But again, it all comes down to coverage. They recognize it. The secondary, the Eskimos sees this. They switch off. Daryl Crutchfield forward, sees who he's got. It's all communication. Does a nice job of staying with the receiver and making sure that's not a complete pass.
Under 7 minutes remaining in the first half, and Troy Westwood attempts this from 24 yards out, and the kick is good. So it's now a 12-point Edmonton lead here in the first half at Commonwealth.
Well, you can take a walk down memory lane all next week on CBC Sports. Join Mark Lee for a look at some of the best Grey Cup games of all time. And tomorrow night, Mark has the 1961 contest between the Bombers, the Ticats, and Chris. It was the only CFL Grey Cup game ever to go into overtime. It was a good one.
It was a classic, no question. I think it's Don Whitman's favorite game of all time. There's John Avery getting outside again.
Well, you talk about the 1961 Grey Cup game. How about the 1960? Let's go back 1 year, where the hockey score between these two teams, Edmonton beating Winnipeg 4-2.
You know, between 1950 and 60, 9 times those two teams played together, Edmonton and Winnipeg. John Avery, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League, just the third Eskimo ever to win the rushing title. Second and short, and Avery somehow ducked underneath and got to the 45. That should be enough for the first down, but I think Avery has silenced some critics here in this opening half. There's a lot of concern about the way he finished the year fumbling the football.
Well, you know, he walked out of an interview earlier this week when a reporter kept talking about the case of fumbleitis. He's tired of hearing about that. He said, you know what? I've had to work with 2 quarterbacks. We had Ronald Williams in here. I was splitting my reps. I wasn't getting the normal carries. As a result, I got a little rusty. He says, you know, you make me the main man, and I'll correct that problem.
First down, Edmonton. Back to Avery. And boy, he can accelerate with such a small opening to take advantage of.
Well, it all starts with the big boys up front. They're just doing a nice job of getting a block on everybody. And then, of course, Avery is just making people miss. He's explosive. And when he gets through there, he's got such great lateral movement. But he almost moves the same way at the same speed sideways as he does north and south.
Already with 82 yards rushing, he has 3 carries of over 10 yards. He had 51 of those during the regular season. And now Ed Hervey, that flanker hit screen down to the 48-yard line.
Well, remember when you're talking about Avery, here's a guy from last 3 weeks who hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game. And remember this as well, in the 2 previous games playing against this Bomber defense, he was held in both games to under 60 yards rushing. Harold Nash not liking the treatment he's getting from Ricky Walters, complaining to the referee about a little hold.
Yes, Harold was chirping at the Eskimo bench. And now 2nd and 6. Here comes the blitz, and Tom Europe gets there. Safety blitz, and for the 2nd straight week, Europe registers a quarterback sack and a late flag. Let's see what that's all about.
Well, late flag, and they're pointing against. But I tell you what, just bringing a blitz from the wide side of the field.
Unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg 36. It was after the play. First down.
Lamar McGriggs called for unnecessary roughness after the Europe sack.
Well, Tommy Europe just coming off the side. They've done this earlier. Just coming from the bottom. He's just going to come right from the backside here. It's a nice job. Now, we talked about experience. Kahari Jones having a little bit more experience than Ricky Ray. Ricky Ray has to see that. Take a look at the whole line. You see 13 up there. Nobody's in the middle of the football field. You know where to go.
The ball down to the 42. There's that toss to Avery. John Avery, one man to beat, and Europe saves a touchdown. Well, it's an Avery showcase so far today.
How prophetic. The John Avery said, I promise you, you make me the man and I will deliver. And he is doing just that. He says, I want to touch the ball. in both games against Winnipeg. The most times he's touched the football is 12. Well, he's been a showcase already in this first half. He just loves it. And one of the things about John Avery is he gets stronger, much like all the great backs, with each carry of that football.
He said, look forward to seeing some fireworks today. He's running like the old schoolhouse is burning. Keep it on the ground. This time it's Bradley. And he's down to the 18. Brian Clark, Anoki Brechterfield with the tackle. The 12-point lead, clock running. With 3:33 to go, John Avery taking one play off to catch his breath, right back in.
And I like the fact that they're allowing Mike Bradley, the first-year guy out of Waterloo, to get some action. He actually does a nice job. It's plugged up and he cuts it backside.
John Avery was saying, if I get hurt, Bradley's just as good. I think he'd get an argument on that one. But Mike Bradley's done a nice job today. 2nd and 7. Ray, Herbie, incomplete. Ricky Bell in coverage, and the pass behind Herbie.
Well, Herbie had what he wanted. He wanted to get to the inside of the field. Ricky Bell does an equally good job of staying with him and then breaking on a football. Look at the break. Once the ball's in the air, he closes the distance between receiver and defender and makes that an incomplete pass.
3-minute warning given to the benches here. First half in Edmonton. We have not completed the first half in Edmonton, and already John Avery over the century mark. And he has said in the past he prefers to play on the natural grass at Commonwealth Stadium, although he calls those his combat boots. He says they slow him down a little bit, but nothing wrong with the traction or the speed in the first half for the Eskimo running back.
Well, the last time he had a 100-yard plus game was back on October 6th against Ottawa, when he rambled for 155 yards and a couple touchdowns, and boy, he's well on his way right now.
Sean Fleming just missing a 26-yard field goal. It goes for a single point.
That's why we got to score. That's my fault.
It's 19-6. We talked to John Avery about his prep for this game.
It's on the line, and I've got to perform. You know, don't worry about me. I'm gonna take care of myself. So it's like, you know, people like to try to bring up things and say, is this going to be a problem? Is that going to be a problem? I said, the only problem I have is that I'm not playing yet. You know, and I can't wait till tomorrow. That's what I'm looking forward to.
He has answered any critics that he has had in the lead up to this game in the opening half. 13 points is the Eskimo lead. Let's see if Winnipeg can capitalize on that missed field goal. And Jamie Stoddard has a catch to the 41-yard line. A Canadian receiver tutored by Tom Wilkinson, the great Eskimo quarterback who was the head coach at the University of Alberta.
Now the slot back just kind of drags in the middle, just gets underneath the linebacker. Kelvin Powell comes over and wraps him up, but picks up a nice chunk of yardage on first down, 6 yards, put him in second and medium.
Yes, Wilkie deserving his place on the Wall of Honor at Commonwealth. 2nd and 4, screen, Sellers gets a block from Eloanibi, and Mike Sellers is across the 50-yard line. Steve Charbonneau pulling him down, not before the big back gets a first down.
Well, it's a nice job, but it all starts again. I mean, you're going to run a screen. They love getting the ball in this man's hands. 33, the Mack truck. Just going to, again, do the same thing. Bataille's blocking and slide out. 64, Eloanibi. Nice job of just crushing the defender, creating a little bit of a seam for the big truck to run through.
Got a block from Arlen Bruce. And now a penalty marker down as the Bombers approach the line. Let's see what Dave Yule's got.
No flag on the play. It's first down.
Okay.
Set the clock to 2:19.
I don't know if one of the officials had a count of 13 men on the field and then revised his accounting or not, but they're going to fix the time clock here, readjust, and 2:19. Look at the numbers for Kari Jones, over 5,000 on the season. 46 touchdowns. Suffering without Milt Stiegel so far today. Looking long, has a man open, and just overthrows Marcus Howell.
Oh, Marcus Howell gets the coverage one-on-one. Malcolm Frank. You don't talk about Malcolm Frank very often. That's because he's doing such an outstanding job on that short side corner where a lot of the traffic is. Sits back there, gets some time to throw this football, and launches it deep. And just past the outstretched fingertips of the speedster, Marcus Howell.
Second and 10 for Kahari Jones and the Bombers. Time to throw, looking deep, and almost picked off by Malcolm Frank, who had one interception against the Bombers in the regular season.
Well, sometimes when you go deep 2 plays in a row, you think you've got something there. He goes back to the exact same play, trying to get the speedster Marcus Howell down the sidelines. This time the closest person to the football is the defender, Malcolm Frank, who unfortunately the ball just goes past his fingertips on this occasion.
Well, they were able to thrive without Milt Stiegel, but they played the bulk of this first half without Charles Roberts in the Winnipeg room with a suspected shoulder problem.
Hey, let's go,
And the Bombers offense has struggled. A 39-yard Bob Cameron punt, one on the October return, as we join Brenda Irving.
Well, Chris, a little bit earlier in this game, Sean Fleming was pinned down by a Blue Bomber blocker, and he came off on the sidelines and was favoring his plant leg after that hit. Now, maybe that was somewhat responsible for his missed field goal attempt just moments ago. But right now it looks like he will stay in the game, but he, as I said, looks like he has somewhat tweaked his plant leg.
Oh, we've seen him limbering up on the sidelines, trying to loosen up. Here's David Benefield, that time slamming the door in the face of John Avery.
Nice, as you say, coming down, reading the quarterback, and that's a tough decision-making process because Benefield takes a chance. See how he sits down there? He has to actually watch the quarterback as well, because if it's a play action and Ricky Ray keeps the ball, he's got to get to the quarterback. Nice job by David Benefield.
Loss of 1 second and 11. The Bombers defense trying to get it back for one last Bomber possession in the first half. Ray throwing, and he has a completion. Brazel with the catch. And again, this is a deep receiving core for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, I really like the way he throws this football right over the linebacker. I mean, he just gets over there. I mean, they're doing a double high-low coverage technique. Brian Clark's going to take the low, Milo Lewis with the high, and the ball is thrown just over Clark's hand, and a nice job of getting the ball to the receiver by Ricky Ray.
First and 10 Edmonton at their own 32. Avery will try the far side and gets across the 35.
That's a nice job, and you can see right there, he's talking to Baker, the fullback, making sure they're on the same page, because most of the times we see number 72 only coming on short yardage situations. They've decided, since they haven't dressed a true fullback, that 72 Baker will be that man. He's going to get a lot of action. Probably get a big pay raise, because that's a skill position he's down now.
Under a minute to go, 2nd and 7, and Ricky Ray going to air it out, looking deep, and a flag flies as Ed Hervey was held up in a one-on-one battle against Ricky Bell.
Well, I think you talked about it earlier, Chris. You said Ed Hervey has, and I got to quote this, world-class speed. And I think when you're Ricky Bell, I mean, you see him going by you, all you can do is hang on.
First down.
He knows he's beat. The only thing he can do is try and draw a flag and not allow him to come up with that catch.
You know, about 3 hours ago, Ed Hervey came out in a black tracksuit, and we just happened to look down as he took about a 30 or 40-yard burst, and both of us kind of said, whoa, look at the speed on him. And then we realized it was Ed Hervey. He does have blazing speed. First down, Ray with that hitch, and it's Tucker. And Tucker brings it inside, taken down by Tom Europe, another penalty marker with 45 seconds left in this first half.
Now once again, the master. You have to say this right now, Ricky Ray just calling an exceptional game, executing exactly what he wants to do on that football field. He attacks the middle, then he goes to the sidelines. Then he comes back to the middle, he goes to the other sidelines, then he decides, you know, let's go deep with Ed Hervey. I mean, he's
Illegal
really,
block, 53 Edmonton. It'll be 4 yards or gain.
well,
First down
Tim
repeated.
Princeton with the illegal block, but I love the way he's orchestrating this offense. Just mixing it up, just keeping it there, and there's 53 right there. Now what you're just gonna do is just gonna block, and they're saying he blocked from behind. Those are really tough calls. You know what? It's not a punt return. You're out there, the big man's looking for somebody in an opposite colored jersey to hit. I don't know. It didn't look all that bad to me, Chris.
You're from the no blood, no foul school when it comes to the offensive lineman. First and 20, 43 seconds left, but Ricky Ray anxious to add to this lead. Brazel has the catch, skips out at the Winnipeg 40.
See, the thing you have when you have the blazing speed of the receiving crew that Edmonton does is the fact is they can take the two receivers and they can take them deep and stretch the defense vertically. Then they can sit guys like Brazel right low. Now he sits down there, there's nobody within 10 yards of him. They're so worried, the defenders are, with the deep guys, and Ricky Ray sits back there, gets time, and he looks off all the initial receivers and finds Brazel.
Great first half, his first playoff action in the CFL for Ricky Ray. Shoveled that dangerously. Incomplete. That was a tough shotgun snap, and Ray was kind of shot-putted that in the direction of Terry Vaughn.
Well, let's give credit to where credit's due, and that's Tom Europe. He does a nice job of recognizing it. It's the same play they used successfully before, but 13, Tom Europe, the safety, who was supposed to come on the blitz, breaks off on the blitz, recognizes and sees Terry Vaughn coming through, knows it's going to be the shovel pass, and stays with him.
32 seconds remaining. And it's 3rd and 6, and the Eskimos are going to go for it. Short drop, and a completion to Hervey for the first down. Well, you wonder if that's more evidence that Sean Fleming's hurt. They elect to go 3rd and 6. Could have given Winnipeg the ball back.
I don't think it's that at all. I think it's just confidence right now. I think Ricky Ray says, you know what? They bring in everybody. We see that. You got Tom Europe coming again on the blitz, and he throws an outlet pass on a rope. Nice job.
Fresh set of downs. More work for Avery. Brought down by Lamar McGriggs.
Now, you know, the thing you got to look at right now is one of the things that's happening as we see a timeout called by Edmonton is the fact that as long as Edmonton has the football, Winnipeg's offense doesn't have the football or no opportunity to put points on the board. And right now, the time of possession, which Winnipeg owned during the regular season, they were number 1 in that category. Boy, I tell you what, Edmonton's giving them a lesson today on how to use the clock.
Dave Ritchie's team had been cruising coming into this Western Final, 6 consecutive victories. The Edmonton Eskimos have dominated, and now the 10th play of this drive, 11 seconds to go. Ricky Ray going to take a shot, looking deep, but overthrowing Terry Vaughn.
Terry Vaughn in tight coverage. Harold Nash Jr. right there, taking him. Terry Vaughn tries to take it to the outside. He's not going to be allowed the inside. Takes it to the corner of the end zone. Ball simply overthrown.
Those two sharing a laugh. Terry Vaughn telling us 2 weeks ago that there's a lot of respect for his battles against Harold Nash, one of the best DBs in the league.
You can see from that replay that initially Terry Vaughn had turned Harold Nash. Harold Nash, he was taken away the inside, got turned around. Terry Vaughn adjusted his route, went to the outside, but as we said before, the ball was overthrown.
So Winnipeg calls timeout to give Sean Fleming a little more time to think about this 35-yard field goal and get a better gauge on Fleming's condition. Bob Cameron's in the end zone. This should be the final play of the first half. So the Bombers may try to kick this out if Fleming misses.
Well, they have Marvin Coleman, the return man, He's got the good hands. He'll catch it and he'll pitch it. Bob Cameron or Troy Westwood try and kick it back out of the end zone.
Jason Moss is the holder. And this time Fleming just tucks it inside that upright and adds 3 more to the score with 1 second on the clock. And these fans appreciate a solid opening 30 minutes by the green and gold, leading by 16. This was not an overly confident Edmonton Eskimo group of fans coming into this Western Final.
Well, I think, we've hit on a couple big factors. So the Milt Stegall was eventually going to catch up to him. That's not to say that Winnipeg can't come back. Right now it's hurting them, though. Secondly, when you lose a guy with the speed and the excitement of Charles Roberts, who had 169 yards rushing last week, and he's not in a football game, that's a double negative. Sometimes a double negative does not make a positive.
Khari Jones takes a knee. The Edmonton Eskimos 7 possessions in the first half. They score on 6 of them. And Dave Ritchie contemplates his halftime address to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as we join Brenda.
Well, Tom Higgins, how important was it for your team to make a statement early in this game?
Well, it wasn't anything about statements or anything else. It was just a matter of trying to put points on the board early. We always felt we needed to come out and know that we could go nose to nose and toe to toe. So we'll just turn this now into a 30-minute football game.
Charles Roberts is not in this game. How do you take advantage of that?
Well, they're still going to try to run the ball with Mike Sellers. They'll try to throw it. We got to try to see if we can keep them in second and long, and that'll be our success.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, here in Edmonton, it is the Edmonton Eskimos leading the Bombers 22-6. We'll be back in a moment with our halftime report.
Canadian Football Heroes. Brought to you by Standard Life.
Halftime of the Western Final in Edmonton. The Eskimos leading the Winnipeg Blue Bombers by a score of 22-6. Back live here at a now deserted Olympic Stadium in Montreal, where earlier today the Alouettes advanced to Edmonton next week, beating the Toronto Argonauts 35-18. Don Matthews going back to the Grey Cup. Don, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yesterday I said to you, you've had a layoff. The team's got to be a little rusty. You said, no, that's not the case. And Pinball Clemens then said to me, no one prepares a team better that's been off for a couple of weeks than Don Matthews. What is your secret?
Well, the thing that we have with our football players is they buy into our system so thoroughly that when we do go to practice, they fly around at such a high level of practice. It's almost like game-like conditions. So we never really miss that aspect of it. Even though we're not playing in games, they are practicing against very, very fast players on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So it's, again, it's almost like game-like conditions.
Eric?
Don, you mentioned 14. You mentioned your style of being aggressive on defense, flying around. 14 first half points off that defense. You have to be pleased with the way they played.
Well, they, a lot of turnovers sometimes are lucky. I think they caught a pass, fumbled, and we just picked it up, ran it in. But we were pressuring right from the get-go, absolutely. That was the plan. We felt that we could get to them very, very quickly because of the speed we had on defense. And Danny, I think you'll attest to the fact that when you play our defense, you have to almost change your offense a little bit to actually protect against our defense because we are a very aggressive defense.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you got to get the ball out of your hands as quick as you can and get it to the right receiver. Now, Coach, was there any consideration of Anthony not coming out of the game with like less than 3 minutes to go?
No, there was none whatsoever. Danny, AC is going to be my guy right to the end, and he's a tough guy. He's going to be fine next week, and I want to make sure that this game is in the bag before we start putting substitutes in.
We got some videotape. Can we roll the crowd, that tape from earlier? You said to me, we earned home field advantage, and the noise will be an advantage. Talk to me about the Argos. They appeared confused in those silent snaps.
Well, there was no question that the crowd was on our side, and it did have an effect on the game. I know one time they had a 3rd and 1, and they were going to try to go for a quarterback sneak, and a guy jumped offside, and then it was 3rd and 6. They had to punt the ball. So different times they made mistakes because the crowd noise was so loud, and all of the times that happened, it worked to our advantage.
We got to go. Edmonton up big at the half. Any preference, Edmonton or Winnipeg, or are you just happy to be going back?
You know, I really wish I had a preference, but I'll tell you what, they're a couple of tough teams, and whoever shows up is going to give us all we need.
Good job, Don. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Don Matthews and the Alouettes going to the Grey Cup. Back live in Montreal's Olympic Stadium after a deafening afternoon. They've got the sprinklers on. There's our host location, you know. It's like golf, fellas. We can almost whisper. It's so quiet in here. Danny McManus, Eric Tillman, Brian Williams. At the half, the Eskimos lead by a score of 22-6 over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's take a look at first half highlights. And Danny, why don't you begin with that special teams razzle-dazzle?
There's a 3rd down 27 situation. There's a direct snap to Terry Ray, and he pitches it to Mike Bradley. This is the opening drive. This is something that Coach Higgins probably had planned for a long time, and they get 3 points out of it.
And you have to love this Edmonton game plan. 5 and 6 receiver sets. They attack upfield. Ed Hervey, a terrific catch here. You know, Ricky Bell actually is in great position on this play, but this shows you the value of concentration. Watch this closely. Look the football in, young people. That's how you make big plays. And John Avery on the search, you see those sweet feet? That's why he's a special player. He bounces it. Oh my goodness, is this guy unbelievable. Walks in for 7. Terrific first half of the Eskimos.
And not only are they doing it on the ground, they're throwing the ball too. Ricky right here throwing the ball to Terry Vaughn. Watch this play, getting up, make the guy miss, finding the end zone and diving in for a touchdown.
Eric, prior to this Western game, you talked about Edmonton's got to spread out the Winnipeg secondary.
Yeah, well, I just think that, I have so much respect for Edmonton and their front 7, and everyone in the league does. And Danny Machocha's come out with a great game plan. They've attacked them, they've spread them out, and now as a result, they're getting the ball to Avery in so many different ways, and, they've got them off, they really have them off balance. Winnipeg is a talented team, and I think the key for them right now is to maintain their composure. They're still down just by 2 scores. Edmonton's played superlative football, but it's an emotional team, an even more emotional coach that maintain their poise, and anything can happen in the second half.
All right, Winnipeg is a talented team, but we talked about this, Danny, that Charles Roberts is now out. You're Kahari Jones. What do you do in the second half?
It's a tough call. He's got 2 of his weapons that are gone. Right now, he's got to start using all of his guys. Now, look for Mike Sellers to get something going on. Arlan Bruce is going to be a main target for him in the second half. Don't press yourself. Don't try to throw the ball upfield, and you're going to go right into what Edmonton wants you to do. Stay with your game plan and look for Arlan Bruce to make some points.
Fellas, I've enjoyed it here this afternoon. We'll see you in Edmonton next Saturday and Sunday for the Grey Cup. Danny McManus, Eric Tillman, thank you for joining us. We'll take a commercial break, go back to Edmonton for the second half, and rejoin Chris Cuthbert, Chris Walby, and Brenda Irving. You're watching the CFL on CBC as we get ready. 1.5 to go, and we'll know who will meet Montreal in Edmonton a week from today. See you next week, folks.
There's a look at the host city for the 2002 Grey Cup game, brimming with anticipation right now because of that score as we join Brenda Irving.
Dave Ritchie, what's the biggest adjustment your team has to make in the second half?
Basically, we got to stop them running the football, and the Hail Mary catches are good catches. So we're not playing defense, we're not playing offense, and special teams got us in trouble right off the bat. Edmonton's come out, played real well, and is sticking it to us. So if they don't come out and wake up, we got a problem. And we lost Charlie on the second play of the game with a broken collarbone. So we'll have to go to one back with Sellers.
Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Well, I think Dave Ritchie just summed up the entire first half. What about the emotional impact of losing Charles Roberts?
Remember, halftime is a time when you make adjustments. And yeah, you want to come out fired up. But I'm telling you right now, everybody in that Bomber locker room is looking over at number 1's locker stall and knowing that number 1, as you see the injury right here, he's just going to get hit from the backside. That's Alfred Payton again, the man responsible for Milt Stiegel's injury. Now taking out number 1 as he gets crunched to the ground and the collarbone is down. But I tell you what, when you know you got a guy like number 1 and he's not coming back to battle with you, boy, I tell you what, that does affect your psyche.
So more responsibility for Mike Sellers, but you make a good point. Alfred Payton, the former Bomber, has knocked out 2 of the most dangerous men in the Canadian Football League, Stiegel 2 weeks ago, and now Charles Roberts, the all-purpose leader in yardage this season. So can the Bombers climb back in this? 16 points down with 30 minutes to play. John Avery faking the reverse and finding a big hole up the middle. Hopped across the 45 before taken down. Let's check the halftime statistics.
I think these could be really ugly, but I'll tell you what, you got 5 first downs by Winnipeg. Remember, 3 of those first downs came via the penalty, so they really only got 2 first downs. 289 net yards to 36, and of course the other one, time of possession, 20 minutes to 9. I mean, that's just key right there.
And Chris, for the Eskimos, I think that's 0 in the turnover category, critical after 27 in the last 7 games. Ricky Ray said we can't play afraid to make a mistake. He's been relaxed and going deep. Brazel's got it. Hervey in the first half. Now Brazel with a big play early in the second half.
Warm-ups today, all they did was they run little seam routes right down the middle of the football field. We've seen this earlier with Hervey, this time Brazel. Razzle-dazzle, Brazel, right down the seam, splitting the coverage. There's a safety, Tom Europe coming over, but a little too late as Brazel does a little bit of the spin after he catches the football.
He missed 7 weeks with an injury and actually sidelined by the great play of Jason Tucker. Now they're both in and both doing damage. As John Avery's first carry of the second half is a short one, 46 yards by the way, the pass to Brazel.
Well, you can tell Ricky Ray's passing charts. Obviously the whites represents the completions, the yellows, the touchdowns. We saw Terry Vaughn catch a nice little touchdown pass, and he's gone deep. This is the big thing right here. He's going deep with the ball, stretching that defense.
2 yards for Avery, 2nd and 8 from the Winnipeg 16. Here comes the rush, and a backside flip to Avery. John Avery down the... And he's knocked out. Let's see, they're going to mark him at the 1.5 yard line. Avery says, I was in.
Well, it's smart play selection. We talked about this. I tell you what, Edmonton's not missing a beat from the first half. They come out, it's just going to be a little slip out. Slips out to the back. Now what happens is it's 1-on-1. It's Avery against Wickman, 55. You know, Wickman, you're a tough linebacker, but you're very rarely going to win that battle with the shake and bake artist and the speedster, John Avery.
I think Avery had a case. Looked like he got the pylon as he was going out. Avery nailed here, stretching into the end zone. Touchdown!
Well, you take a look at that jersey, and you see it. If he's a workhorse, he's been pounded, he's been hit, his shoe is off, he's losing his equipment. That doesn't stop him. Nothing stops him. Look at him reach out. Look at the determination to break the goal line with the football.
Remember what Bruce Beaton said? A combination of Mike Pringle, which we saw there, Mike Clemens, which we saw in the previous play, and
his whole career, he's 190 pounds. They have fabricated, and I use that word, fabricated, that he can't take the heavy going. We've seen it all year, Chris. He can take a pounding and he gets the job done.
Tom Europe is the injured Blue Bomber. In fact, he takes more pride in his blocking. He says there's nothing better than laying a wallop on a guy that weighs 100 pounds more than him.
I've seen him early in this game already talking about blocking, picking up a blitzing linebacker. On that occasion it was Lamar McGriggs. He was a great linebacker when he's rushing the quarterback, and he just stopped him in his tracks. The complete package, John Avery.
Hey, mama.
Take a look as he reaches out right there, and Brian Clark trying to swat that football around, and that's one of the things you have to really be concerned about.
It's almost Thanksgiving. We get them ribs ready. Get that potato salad. I got jam cornbread.
He's ordering dinner.
Well, I want to hang with him because as soon as he started talking, I got the old grumbling under the jacket going here.
One more week. John, it would appear the way you're going, 29-6 early in the second half, all Edmonton. There's Danny Machocha, the offensive coordinator last year with Montreal, and what a package he has put together for this Western Final.
Remember last week, he was in the booth, him and the head coach Tom Higgins, watching Winnipeg dismantle the BC Lions. And he said, it gives me an opportunity to test out tendencies. He plays a game in his mind to see what they would actually do in certain situations. He comes back, it's a free script for him.
Arlen Bruce, little stutter step, breaks through, and Arlen Bruce across midfield. Second good return for Bruce. Winston October.
Hey, T-Shaw, hey, Trey.
Stopped even more damage. That all starts by being aggressive. We talk about Rick Ray not sitting there. He goes deep and then swings it out to John Avery, who looks like he's in the end zone, but decides, you know, if I'm not in the first time, I'll make it the second time, and he makes no doubt about it on that one.
T-Shaw, Trey, Daddy love y'all. I'll be home in a minute.
How about that hit? Even Brechterfield making contact down at the 1, and he couldn't slow up John Avery. Kahari Jones got to get it going. 4 for 12, 33 yards in the first half. As Chad Plummer, and Plummer got by Donnie Brady for a first down.
That's a nice job again of protection from the offensive line, and I think one of the things you got to look at, first thing that pops out of your mind, take a look at this. Here's the only completions, only 4 completions. You can see that they're all short, safe routes, nothing deep has been successful for the Bomber quarterback.
What a difference a year makes. The Eskimos secondary shredded last year by Calgary in the Western Final. First down for Jones. And Jones nailed Albert Reese, who was second to Alfred Payton in quarterback sacks. Gets to the Bomber QB.
Well, Jackie Kellogg's in their way. He's also coming. As a result, it puts the offensive lineman in a bind. Eric Wilson slides out, creates a little bit of a gap, and Albert Reese does the rest. He's just going to come around on a twist, comes through, he gets penetration. The offensive lineman, the center, and the guards have got to be on the same level against twisting stunts by the D lineman.
Second and 18. More pressure. Terry Ray back at the 50.
I'll tell you what, there's sometimes, Chris, that you only dream of having a game like this where everything you do offensively, defensively, and special teams works. And right now, that's the script we're seeing right now. Everything is going the Eskimo way. Just a blitz from the backside. Terry Ray coming around. They got pressure from the front side by Mobley. Nowhere for Kahari Jones to get that football to. And as a result, another sack.
Bob Cameron, short punt. Winston October across the 40-yard line. Well, this Eskimo defense has punished Winnipeg today.
Now probably no bigger play right there than taking Charles Roberts out of the game. But I've been really impressed with the 2 big men in the middle. Charbonneau, Albert Reese have really come to play today. And when you get the pressure for the 2 big boys in the middle of your defensive line, it sure makes it easier for the rest of your defense.
Well, Steve Charbonneau wants so desperately to get to the Grey Cup to play his old team. And remember, when Montreal last went to the Grey Cup, he was hurt 2 days before the big game. John Avery chewing up more yards and another first down. That's his 4th carry over 10 yards today. Over 50 10-yard runs during the regular season.
Well, the thing is, coming into this football game, the team that was peaking at the right time, coming off 6 straight wins, was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I tell you what, and they looked at Edmonton, 1-3 in their last 3 games. They thought, this is a team that's struggling. Well, I tell you what, the role reversal is pretty amazing to watch.
First down at midfield. Ray rolling left, pulls it down, and Ricky Ray's got another first down. To the Winnipeg 40, Ricky Bell with the tackle.
Well, David Benefield did a nice job when they ran this earlier. He stayed in the middle and made a nice tackle on the running back. Little play action, and he gets outside, so he takes Avery. That allows Ricky Ray to get to the outside. But you know what? Here comes, right around the corner, Ricky Walters saying, you know what, if I'm not going to catch the football, Brian Clark not too happy with John Avery, figures I'll give him a shot. Might be the only time you knock him down without the football.
Just past the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Back to Avery. Down to the 35.
I mean, there's a lot of time left in this game. A lot of things can happen. We've seen stranger things. But right now, Edmonton is playing at such a high level. They're having fun, and everything is working right now. You see Kahari Jones just sitting down there, frustrated. He's got to get something working right now. They got to get on the same page. They need something to spark that offense.
He needs to get the football back in his hands, but the Eskimos have done a good job of keep away. There's a blitz picked up, and then Hervey has another catch inside the 20.
You go to the well too many times, I'll tell you what, you're going to get burnt. Again, they bring the safety, Tom Europe. We talked about this, that the middle is wide open. As a result, he just throws it this time at Hervey, slants in the middle. There's nobody there. There's Dave Donaldson, the backside half. He's got to come over and make the play along with Harold Nash, but not before they move the chains and pick up another first down.
The Eskimos marching yet again. First and 10 from the 18. Avery off tackle, down inside the 10 before he's worked out of bounds by Ricky Bell. You know, a couple of other things have happened in the last 2 weeks, though. Number one, the Eskimos immediately declared Ricky Ray the starter. No more guessing games as there was 2 weeks ago going into the game in Winnipeg.
You have to do that. You can't play that game. You know, they could get away with it the last game of the season against Winnipeg in a meaningless game, and I hate that term, but it's not going to affect the standings. But you can't do that. You need to go with your A team, get them on the field, work on what you need to do to be victorious, and they're doing that right now.
2nd and 2. Back to Avery again. John Avery to the 3. And the other thing they did was release Ronald Williams. John Avery didn't have to share reps. There was no controversy about who was the man lugging the football, and Avery has thrived today.
Well, you know what, let's talk about something here also. Comiskey, Princeton, and Groenwagen, the big three on the interior of this Eskimo offensive line. You know what they're doing? They are shutting out the force, the Twin Towers. Denny Fortney, Doug Brown, who've been a force all year at the defensive tackle position, have not been heard of today.
John Avery has averaged just under 9 yards a carry. Will be spelled here. Bradley the setback. 1st and goal from the 3. The option toss. Bradley will be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Gang tackled there, a host of that Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense that led in 13 of 25 categories during the regular season.
Well, it's just a nice job of stringing it out. Lamar Rodriguez gets to the outside. It's exactly what you got to do. What he does is he forces Mike Bradley back inside where the rest of his teammates can come over and make the play.
8th play of the drive. John Avery getting some attention at the Eskimo bench. 2nd and goal. Ball tipped and falls incomplete with some heavy contact on Hervey.
Well, I'll be surprised if he get the wind knocked out on that one, as he got sandwiched after the ball was tipped and went up in the air. It's a nice job of getting your hands up by the Bomber defense. Initially, good protection. That's John Oosterhuis, the #1 draft pick by the Stampeders this year, who were picked off the practice roster by the Bombers earlier this season. Gets his big paw up there and knocks that ball incomplete.
Sean Fleming back in to attempt a 14-yarder. And has his 3rd field goal up today as the Eskimos add to their lead. There may be some concern at that Eskimo bench.
Well, welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Concern right now around the Eskimos bench. John Avery, what a game he has had today. But he was hurt in the last series, and he went over to the Eskimo bench in obvious pain, and apparently the word is right now that he has a pulled hamstring. But a lot of concern as far as the condition of John Avery right now. It's unclear whether he will get back into this game. Chris?
Well, and now unclear whether he'll be available for next week. It had been a perfect afternoon for the Eskimos until that news. Here's Arlen Bruce getting loose. And once again across midfield, and Quincy Coleman is able to track him down.
Well, you talked earlier about the fact that Winnipeg lost one of their huge guns with Charles Roberts with a broken collarbone. And boy, I tell you what.
Arlen Bruce with a couple of big kickoff returns today. He did his damage last week on this missed field goal return, romping 112 yards. But right now, Chris,
he's done a nice job on all the returns of giving good field position. The offense just hasn't been able to capitalize on it.
He was a 1,000-yard receiver during the regular season without a catch today. Jamie Stoddard has been the favorite target. But they need Arlen Bruce if they're going to be able to make it a game.
And here's the other thing right now. We saw the passing chart earlier on by Kahari Jones, and all his completions are in the 5 to 7 yard range. You have to start getting completions down the football field. A little farther than that, you better stretch this Eskimo defense.
6 to Stoddard. Second down. Blitz and a pass inside. Marcus Howell has the catch. That's his first catch of the day.
That's a nice job of Marcus Howell coming inside, working against Malcolm Frank, and good concentration, holding on to that football, even with the tight coverage by Malcolm Frank. It's a nice job. You see he's trying to swat that ball and break the arms, knock him loose, knock that ball loose, but Marcus Howell holding on to that football.
Just over 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. 3 receivers left. The give to Mike Sellers, and a big hole for the big man. Down inside the 25, that will move the sticks.
Well, I know there's still time left in this quarter, and you have the whole fourth, but I tell you what, if there's ever a time you need to put some points on the board, and I'm not just talking about a field goal, it's now.
Well, Sellers has racked up most of his yards in recent weeks late in football games, but that was usually playing from the lead. First down, Jones couldn't find anybody. Rolling left, Arlen Bruce now has it inside the 5. It took a while to find Bruce, and his first catch of the game puts Winnipeg in position to score.
Well, one of the nice things that Kahari Jones does is he uses athletic ability to get outside, not sit in the pocket, don't be stationary. That buys him extra time. That allows him and the receiver, Arlen Bruce, to find an opening and get the ball to him to pick up a big first down and put him finally in a scoring position.
The man steered north of the border by Warren Moon, who encouraged him to look to the CFL out of Kansas City Chiefs camp. Sellers stood up. What a surge by that interior, and Alfred Payton's in the neighborhood again.
Well, yeah, Alfred Payton's going to make the play, but he's not going to make the play if you're not getting penetration from the middle. We talked about Albert Reese, we talked about Charbonneau, but this is a nice job by Randy Chevier. 66, get an opportunity to come in there as well. When you got that kind of penetration, that allows your ends to come down and collapse the pocket and make the play, and that's why Alfred Payton is so free on that one.
Chevrier, the McGill product, and Alfred Payton, who's had an outstanding year, a finalist for top defensive player, has had another showcase game. Second and goal from the 3. Kahari Jones into the end zone. Stoddard was the intended receiver. And it's third down.
Well, Stoddard working against Donnie Brady. I don't know if I agree with this call. I think right now you've got to stay with what works. And right now the most successful part of your offense is your running game, especially when you got a guy that's 275 pounds. You're going to have to keep beating at that interior line or take it off tackle. Now you put yourself in a situation where you have to go for it, and you need 3 yards to score.
Well, this is critical, obviously. The Bombers need this just to fuel their hopes. They're going to go to the air, and they won't get it off. Kelvin Powell, the middle linebacker. But wait, there is a flag on the play.
Well, the early indication is there's holding in the end zone against the Eskimos secondary.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Edmonton 26, first down.
Donnie Brady. And the Bombers still have life.
Well, they'll march at half the distance to the goal line, putting it on the 1.5 yard line, but they'll get a fresh set of downs.
And that should be Mike Sellers' territory.
You got 3 cracks from the 1. You better put it in the end zone.
Wade Miller, the blocking back, in motion. Sellers stopped again. Jack Kellogg, the safety, tripping him up. And this Eskimo defense will give up points grudgingly.
One of the things that people don't realize as well is on this offense, the Bombers don't play a lot of double tight end. They prefer to stay with their 5 linemen, line up Wade Miller as an extra blocker. A lot of other teams, when you're this close, will bring in 2 more beefsteaks, 2 more offensive linemen to get them more push.
2nd and goal. Sellers again. Sellers, touchdown.
They talked about it. If it's stuffed up in the middle, then take it where it isn't stuffed up. Take it to the outside. This is a crucial touchdown drive by the Bomber offense. 1, it puts points on the board. 2, it gives them a little bit of confidence with a quarter of football left to play.
The former Eskimo linebacker and rush end is able to punch it across. Thanks in part to the Donnie Brady penalty. Westwood adds the extra point. And in the final minute of the 3rd quarter, a little light for the Bombers. Kahari Jones engineering the first touchdown march of the day for the Blue Bombers with 39 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter at Commonwealth. Westwood with the kickoff that will go out of bounds, and the Eskimos will scrimmage from the 45 as we join Brenda Irving.
Well, here is a chance for all of you armchair quarterbacks to make the calls on CBC's Grey Cup Sunday. You can be a virtual coach by logging on to cbc.ca/sports. You know, what call would you make on 3rd down, 5 yards to go, and a couple of minutes to play? You make the call. That's Grey Cup Sunday on CBC. Chris?
Well, if it's Walby, it'd be a running play.
You know, you got to run the ball to be successful, especially this time of year. Yeah, we got beautiful weather, baby, but let the Hoggies get involved early.
Well, John Avery has proved that theory true today, but he is out of the game, and now Mike Bradley is in. We should mention that Troy Mills was brought back into the Eskimo fold last week as insurance in case something happened to John Avery.
He was back home, and football was the farthest thing from his mind. He got the call. Kind of had to weigh the option. Remember, he was released from Edmonton. He wasn't sure if he wanted to come back here, but the love of and the desire to still play football still burns within him, and decided to take up the option, and he's here on the practice roster right now.
He may become a very important man. Ricky Ray under pressure, and the ball dropped. Jason Tucker unable to hold on, and Ricky Ray a little slow to get up. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. 15 minutes away from a Grey Cup berth. Well, Mike Sellers has a touchdown for the Blue Bombers, but A long way to go yet.
Well, the key block is right there, and Mo Elwaniwi's going to lead him around. And they know the middle is tough to run on this Eskimo defense today, and he gets to the outside. Elwaniwi with a nice block, and Sellers takes it inside. But I tell you what, they need to get
high snap over Fleming, and he'll kick it through his own end zone. Look out, will it go through? This is a touchdown, Winnipeg, Jeff Drover. Well, the calculated gamble by Fleming to get it through the end zone and 2 points. Instead, it's a major score, and the Bombers aren't done yet.
And the thing is, we just talked about, as that play is saying, we have to get something else happening for the Bombers. And as I said, Sean Fleming, the high snap, smart decision on his part instead of, but I wonder, should he pick the ball up and just took the loss? He tries to boot it to the end zone. Doesn't get the bounce he wants, and Drover with the huge touchdown recovery in the back of the end zone.
Well, suddenly it's game on. Roger Reinson, usually perfect on those snaps.
Well, just a high snap over the head. Fleming actually gets his hands on it and then decides to kind of soccer kick it through the end zone, hoping it will go out the end zone. But good hustle by Jeff Drover to get it just before it goes to the end line. Another touchdown. It's 2 in a row now for the Bombers, and all of a sudden, Chris, we have a 12-point difference.
Jason Congdon, the long snapper for the Bombers, is now down after that convert, but it is just a 12-point game now and just about a full quarter to go. Well, the game is on after the touchdown by Jeff Drover, his first ever in the Canadian Football League, and they're cheering in St. John's, Newfoundland right now.
I would like to get one receiving, but he's just happy to make a contribution to this Bomber team.
Huge momentum shift on the first turnover of the game by the Eskimos. Terry Vaughn. And Vaughn with a good return up to the 44 to try and restoke the Eskimo fire.
Once again, just a high snap that goes through the hands of Sean Fleming, a little soccer kick. Gets it off the inside, the instep of the foot, doesn't get a whole lot on it. And the hustle of Jeff Drover results in a touchdown and brings Winnipeg back into this football game.
Through 3 quarters, total domination by Edmonton.
When you take a look at the right, 411 to 79, 28, 16 minutes time of possession.
Net yards 79. There's Bradley, pulled down right at the line of scrimmage. Remember, John Avery out, and can the Eskimos operate offensively?
This is a big, now you talk about it, right? Charles Robert goes out, so Sellers becomes the man. They stuff Sellers for most part of this game. Now John Avery's out. Now you got to put in Mike Bradley. There's a little lift to the Bomber defense. But let's not count one thing, and that is that the Eskimos feel they have the best receiving core, and they're capable of still making some big plays.
2nd and 10, looks like the Bombers showing blitz. Here they come, Ray going deep. He's looking for Brazel! And he's unable to reel it in.
You gotta like this. I really like what Ricky Ray is doing, and that is stretching his defense. He gets them all turning and running with the defenders. The receiver, Chris Brazel.
Winnipeg, number 19. Second down repeated.
It's a free play anyway.
Brechter Field
jumps. He decides to go downtown. Sits back there, little slide protection, the offensive line sliding to the right. He just cocks the arm and throws it deep and just past the streaking Chris Brazel.
And you've mentioned that during halftime to me, that with Winnipeg blitzing and gambling, Ray's going to get those shots.
But I like the fact that he's recognizing that still. I still think when they're bringing the safety up, you don't have to go that deep, but just get it somewhere in the middle of the football field, either on a crossing route, and it can go a long way.
2nd and 5, Terry Vaughn, first down. Yesterday when I talked to Brian Clark, I asked about Edmonton tendencies. He says when they need a big play, they usually go to Terry Vaughn.
Well, he talked about the game, though, it's early balanced attack. You got to run the ball and you got to pass the ball. But 79 yards is your total offense right now. Defense, beware the six-pack. 7 players have caught a ball. For Edmonton, Avery early and often, he was a one-man wrecking crew. 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, had to leave the game, a little bit of a hamstring pull, and stopped the storm. Robertson Sellers, only 44 combined yards.
First down, Ricky Ray. That ball tipped at the line. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Denny Fortney coming through. A long day. You see Benefield going up like that, but good pressure up the middle by Fortney. The Eskimo offensive line have really done a masterful job of really negating a very good front 4 of the Bombers.
Great numbers for Ray, but a little light at the end of the tunnel for Winnipeg if they can shut down Edmonton here. 2nd and 10, flags down. Ray overthrowing his intended receiver, Hervey. And did Winnipeg jump again as they prepared to blitz the quarterback?
Well, that's what they're going to call. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I really like, again, I've said a lot of things. Ricky Ray's done a lot of things well.
Offside, Winnipeg 36. 2nd down repeated.
Lamar McGriggs with the offside. The thing that I do like is he's changing the snap count. And when you go long count, that allows you, you can see right there, it allows you to recognize the defense. Instead of going first sounder on 1, you're going back. Let's go on 3. Let them jump.
Bombers over 100 yards. They really limited their penalties in the 6-game win streak. There's another ball tipped incomplete, and it will be 3rd down. And now Deshaun Fleming come in to try a 44-yarder.
Well, you see a little different swing of the game right now offensively for the Eskimos in the fact they don't have what I consider the real running threat of Avery anymore. Therefore, they're relying more on throwing the football. And in the last couple attempts, this one by Brian Clark, the previous one by Benefield, they're getting the hands up and deflecting those passes.
So they're electing to punt, not going to try a field goal, and we'll watch Reinson snap to Fleming. Trying to pin the Bombers deep. And that ball going out near the 11-yard line. A 26-yard punt to back Winnipeg up with a 12-point lead. Tom Higgins electing not to try the field goal. He saw what Arlen Bruce did last week. Is that why they didn't try the 44-yarder?
I think it's a smart move, punt it. You don't want your big offensive lineman going down there in a coverage potential to try and stop Arlen Bruce, who's really had a good day all along returning punts and kickoffs.
So Winnipeg starts deep, but there is a little life for the Bombers yet. Time to throw and a completion to Stoddard, who was able to tiptoe for an extra yard or 2. Terry Ray pushing him out.
Well, Stoddard just doing a crossing the field route, just coming across the middle.
You were surprised there was no...
Well, I thought there'd be something on the hamstring, but here it is. He's standing in front of the heater, so he's getting some heat anyway on the hamstrings. That's why he doesn't have it wrapped. Little heat coming off my drawing right there.
Jamie Stoddard is the leading Bomber receiver, 3 catches, 18 yards. Short drop, and back to Stoddard, and a first down. Remember, Jamie Stoddard was out of favor early in the year. He lost his starting job, but a big touchdown catch.
Well, nice job of Stoddard doing one thing. Recognizing the blitz, realize he's got cut his route short. Take 2 steps, get to the sidelines, find the markers. Kahari, equal to the challenge, gets in the football, and they pick up a first down.
He's been the possession guy. We know Arlen Bruce can be the home run hitter. Screen Sellers, and a nice block or 2 to provide another Winnipeg first down. And in the second half, the offense is starting to get things done.
I've always liked this. Anytime you got a team that's pinning their ears back, coming after you with everybody, just slip out the fullback or the running back, in this case, Mike Sellers. He gets a head of steam, he gets a good block. The offensive linemen get downfield, they get a chance to tee off on somebody. So Benedict Babisi, nice job downfield by the center of the Bombers.
10 minutes to go. still in the balance here in the Western Final. First down, Bombers. Looking downfield, and the ball is caught. Marcus Howell with the catch as he works against Malcolm Frank.
We talked about the Canadian Air Force. And that's Stoddard. That is Marcus Howell. That's Jeff Drover. They've got to pick up their game with the Aston-Stiegel. Marcus Howell does a nice job of coming back and then climbing the ladder, going up high to get that football in front of Malcolm Frank.
29 yards for the Winnipeg native. And now the fans a little concerned, trying to urge the defense here at Commonwealth. He's got to roll out. Kelvin Kinney in pursuit. And Jones has another first down, outlegging Steve Charbonneau to the stick.
Good decision by Kahari Jones. Feels the pressure, feels the heat, gets outside, and not trying to force a pass downfield to make something happen. Utilizes his legs, gets the corner, knows he's going to win the foot race against defensive end Kelvin Kinney and Charbonneau, but gets to the outside. Now tuck it and go. Don't try and force a pass that may fall incomplete. Sometimes you got to do it yourself.
Got a dozen on that scamper. First down at the 31. Here comes the blitz, and it falls incomplete. Eskimos thought they'd created a fumble, but it did look like Jones awkwardly shot-putted the ball ahead.
Well, they brought everybody. They figured we're not going to sit back. We're going to play aggressive on defense, and we're just going to come everybody. He just comes right through there. Nobody picks him up. That's Terry Ray. Does a nice job of not allowing Kahari Jones to even set up the screen pass or have a chance to find any receiver. And I tell you right there, Chris, you know what he was looking for. He was looking for Mike Sellers.
Second and 10. That's the kind of heat that's been on Jones today. Here it comes again, and Arlen Bruce drops the ball. Tight coverage by Shannon Garrett.
Shannon Garrett has been a blanket over Arlen Bruce all day. Follows him wherever he goes on a football field. He is a warrior, a trooper, just sits there. It's a nice job again. It all starts with the pressure up front. But Arlen Bruce just going to slide across the middle. But the nice thing about this, when you got a guy trailing or coming across the middle, the biggest thing you want to have is separation from the defender. Shannon Garrett does not allow that to happen.
Westwood to try from 38 yards out. It's a 9-point game as the Blue Bombers continue to chip away with 7:58 to go. The Eskimos 12-0 and leading after 3 quarters this season, but they've given up 10 in the 4th quarter and know this one is far from over.
And outscored them 17-10 in the second half.
17 unanswered points. There's a huge hole. There's Rudy. Mike Bradley.
How big is this, Chris? I'm going to tell you right now. Mike Bradley, I mean, you know what? They threw the gauntlet down. They said, you know what? We have to have some sort of a running game. You cannot live by the pass alone. We got to get the linebackers to at least respect the run. 22 right there. If he keeps running like that, it's going to make it a lot tougher for the Bomber defense to get that ball back to their offense.
Well, who would have anticipated coming into this game that the Eskimos' fortunes would largely fall on his shoulders in the 4th quarter. Ricky Ray pushing it ahead on 2nd and 1 to get the Eskimos a fresh set of downs, but can they keep the ball away from Winnipeg? That's the question here in the 4th quarter without John Avery.
Well, they've done a really good job so far, as you say, Chris, of running the clock. Clock management, eating it up. Long drives, not allowing the Bomber offense to have any time on the football field. Right now, the Bomber sideline says, you know what? We've got some confidence. We got a little momentum back now, but we need the football.
And Winnipeg still needs 2 scores. First down, Bradley. Fake and Ray held on. Boy, there's a pile up on one side, and Chris Brazel's got a first down on the other.
Chris Brazel excellent job. If you're a receiver and you want to know how to help your quarterback, this is exactly what you do. Play action, get outside. Brechterfield's going to come in now. The receiver's got to help out the quarterback. How does he do that? He comes back to the football. When he makes the catch, then he does a little fake and dives for the first down, picks up nice yards, puts him in a second and short. The play action is the key, and the receiver helping the quarterback is the other key.
I bid on the play action, and a lot of players on the field did too. Tell you what, this kid is providing the Eskimos with exactly what they need right now.
Boy, he's a strong little running back. Again, he's in the mold. He's only 5'8", 200 plus pounds. But they like what they see about this kid. They feel, you know what? He's a guy that really, when you give him the opportunity, they feel, and you saw John Avery talk about him, said, you know what, we don't really lose much. Well, I think John Avery was just being a little humble because I don't think there's many people in the same class as John Avery. But you gotta like the way that Mike Bradley is handling himself right now.
Les Brown knows the defense has to shut the door right now. Short drop, Ray, and an incompletion as he was looking for Brazel once again.
Well, the interesting thing on this one is Milo Lewis thought it was going to Terry Vaughn and actually contacted Terry Vaughn before the ball got there. It went over Terry Vaughn, was going for Brazel. Very lucky that that ball was not thrown to Terry Vaughn, or a flag would have been thrown.
So another big play. Eskimos trying to chew up the clock. 5:05 to go. Ricky Ray outside, picked off. Milo Lewis has the interception, and the Bombers get more life.
Well, Milo Lewis with the big interception last week against the BC Lions comes up big again. Let's see what the offense can do with it.
Milo Lewis, as you mentioned, his second interception in as many playoff weeks.
Well, all starts good pressure here by David Benefield working against Bruce Beaton. Little arm bar, gets to the outside. Now he gets in the face of Ricky Ray. He throws it, and you can see right there, that's a great job of breaking on the football, staying inside of the intended receiver, and Milo Lewis comes up with his third interception of the year.
They talked about the importance of turnovers. Over the middle, Plummer drops the ball.
Well, one of the reasons they brought Chad Plummer in was for his ability to catch the football across the middle. He prides himself on that, but you got to come up with catches like that. You've got momentum on your side now. You're back in the game. You've got to come up with the catches. No excuses.
Clock running. 4:34 and counting down. Montreal awaits the winner. 2nd and 10. Kahari Jones looking for Arlen Bruce, and he's got it inside the Edmonton 40.
Well, Arlen Bruce coming up with his first big play receiving-wise of this football game. He's caught other passes, but they've been of the short nature. This is a nice one going deep, stretching the defense. Nice job of Kahari Jones getting the football. Arlen Bruce defending, keeping the defender away from the football.
Bombers go hurry up after the 26-yard reception, and now Plummer, and he makes the catch. Plummer out of bounds, and the Bombers again need 2 scores, and they are now in field goal range.
There's still 3 minutes and 50 seconds, 3:49 to be exact. I like this. You go to the side, you got the big receiver, you drop one earlier. That's confidence in your quarterback. Coming back to the kid the second time, 6'3". You got a height advantage, you got to throw the ball at Plummer.
Down to the 19, Jones has been on fire in the second half. Again showing blitz, but the gives to Sellers. Thunders down inside the 5.
What a great, quick-hitting dive play. Get him, give him the ball quickly, negates the blitzing by the Edmonton. You can see right here, there's the blitz coming. He's not even a factor now. Nice job of stutter stepping by the big man, Mike Sellers, and then turning it up.
1st and goal from just inside the 5. Sellers has it. Gets strung out, and it's going to be a loss of 5. Big defense Defensive play, Albert Reese, Terry Ray.
Edmonton does a great job of stringing this out. East to west, they don't let them go up north. They force them to the sideline, and as a result, they lose yardage.
Under 3 minutes to go. 2:56 on the clock. Bombers need 2 scores. Chad Plummer has a shortened list of plays. Kahari Jones told us a couple of those are down in this neighborhood. Does he call his number? What do they do on 2nd and goal from the 10? Jones looks one way, then the other. Plummer, touchdown! There's one of the 2 scores. There is a flag on the play.
Well, I think the way that flag was thrown, it's going to go against the Eskimos secondary. It will be a touchdown.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton 26. Penalties decline.
Donnie Brady.
Touchdown.
Now I tell you what, people can't see this, but I am bowing to my partner Chris Cuthbert in the booth right now for calling that.
You usually call the running plays, but again, here's a newcomer with a shortened play list. But Kahari Jones calls his number at the right time. And how about this? 24 unanswered points. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are within a field goal of the lead.
Well, the biggest thing is, Chad Plummer, we got on your back for dropping that simple crossing route, but you've come back with 2 huge catches, the biggest one right now in the end zone. All starts with the interception by Milo Lewis, some nice pressure by Benefield, and then, of course, Arlen Bruce going up high to come up with a catch. Let's go back to Plummer. Right in the end zone. Touchdown, and as you say, don't go anywhere. Even if you got some bowel stuff going on, 32-30.
Chad Plummer out of the University of Cincinnati, which just happens to be Dave Ritchie's alma mater. An Argo for 11 games, right now a Bomber hero, and how about the second half for the outstanding player in the CFL last year, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers felt should have been the All-Canadian quarterback.
Now those are more like Kahari numbers in the second half.
Anthony Calvillo has guided his team to the final. Can Jones bring his team back into the Grey Cup? To complete the matchup, Terry Vaughn up to the 38. And the momentum in this game all shifted right here.
Absolutely, the high snap that goes through Fleming's hands, the botched kick that tries to go through, but I really love this. It's the hustle. The hustle. You're never out when you got hustle like that. And of course, you got it like this. You talked about it, Chris. You talked about the fact that Chad Plummer had special plays in the offense. Boy, I tell you what, how prophetic.
Well, the other turnaround, the injury to John Avery, Ricky Ray, and his offense operating without number 20 for most of this second half. Out of the backfield, the speedy Tucker, taken down by Dave Donaldson. Good production on first down there.
Jason Tucker was being relatively quiet today. They finally go to him, number 83. Another one of the speed barons of the Eskimo receiving crew. Gets to the outside, a little bit of a foot race. Gets a little separation from Donaldson. Milo Lewis coming over and putting the wraps on him. But again, good first down production.
7 yards, and now 2nd and 3. 2:20 left on the clock. They'll try it to the other side, and Hervey has a first down and more. Brian Clark comes across to nail Hervey, but a big first down and more for the Eskimos.
The biggest thing here, Chris, Hervey, you gotta love this. Hitch pass, get outside, but Terry Vaughn, number 3, is the key to springing Hervey. That's what happens. You may not catch the ball, but get out there and do something. What a nice job of coming back, getting Milo Lewis turned inside, allowing the speedster Hervey to get to the outside and pick up a huge first down.
Hervey over 100 yards in the game. And now Ricky Ray calls timeout.
Timeout, Edmonton.
Didn't like the Bomber alignment, and with 1:49 to go, he'll confer with Danny Machocha.
And as much as Ricky Ray calls a timeout, and comes over to discuss the offensive strategy, it can be a benefit as well to the defense because they'll all huddle over and go by the Bomber bench and worry and make sure they're all on the same page. They realize that now with 1:49 left, time is slowly becoming an enemy because they need that football only down by 2 points, and they can't afford to get in there and allow Sean Fleming to at least attempt a field goal.
Well, we've had more than we bargained for in the second half of this game. 34,322 on hand. Most felt rather comfortable until the late stages of the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. Bradley pushed the pile. Sounded like that ball might have come loose, but
well, I think what's happening,
on.
Chris, what they're doing now and what the defenders are being told on the Bomber side is if you see the ball carrier, rip the ball out. Start going for the football.
Bradley with 4 on that carry. He has 22 as a running back in the game, plus the big play on the fake punt in the opening quarter. 2nd and 7. Ricky Ray looking deep and overthrows the speedy Herbie.
You know what? Edmonton's done a really nice job of picking up the blitz. They see Tom Europe, but I'm still a little disturbed by one thing, and that is they're going vertically. They're going vertically deep when they see this, that the safety's not there. I don't understand why they don't slant it more into the middle of the football field and allow your receiver an opportunity. All it is straight down the field. He's going to go straight down. I'll come back more in that way. Give yourself an opportunity. You don't have to beat him down for a touchdown. Keep the chains moving. Pick up a first down.
Sean Fleming's longest field goal of the year, 49. This would have been 49. But they will punt and try and pin Winnipeg deep again. Bad snap. Fleming does a great job to get it away. This one taken at the 1 by Bruce. And they do pin him deep. Singer Mobley, who's been a leader on special teams all year, but gives Sean Fleming huge marks for getting that ball away.
Well, he is walking off, and you can see right by that expression, he can't believe it. That can't believe going and giving him a hug right now. Bad snap. Bounces. Now here comes the pressure. He's got to get it off. Look, now that's what we talk about. See, Jeff Drover, you were the hero last time recovering the ball, but you got to know where the block point is. You can't run by the kicker. Get in front of the kicker, get your hands up. You got an opportunity to be a double hero.
Harlan Bruce might have let that roll into the end zone and concede 1. The margin's 2, but the Bombers start deep at their own 7. Kahari Jones looking deep, and the ball falls incomplete in front of Drover.
Edmonton's coming with a 4-man rush. And if you can get pressure with your front 4, that means you can drop 8. That's what they're trying to prevent, the pass completion. But Charbonneau, we talked about this guy in the middle. Look at this right here. Look at Reese. Look at that move right there. Look at Charbonneau right there. If you don't allow the quarterback time to throw the football, chances are they won't complete the pass.
2nd and 10, and now the fans rising to their feet at Commonwealth Stadium. Jones from his goal line, nearly picked. And it comes down to a 3rd and 10. Intended for Stoddard and Malcolm Frank, the veteran corner.
I know they're going for Stoddard. I don't like the play selection because there's too many guys. There is too many guys around the receivers right here. You can't be in the same vicinity of the football field. Take a look at this. Look how many guys are there. You can't have Plummer. He talked about he's got a limited thing about what he knows of this offense. Too many guys together, you bring too many defenders. That's a breakdown. 88 and 87 should not be together.
That ball could have been picked. The two Eskimos collided now. 3rd and 10 to keep their season alive. Kahari Jones downfield. Plummer can't make the catch. And the Eskimos take over on downs with 53 seconds to go.
Well, I'll tell you what. You're not going to feel any worse than that man right now, 87, Chad Plummer, who has the opportunity to go up high, use a 6'3" frame to come down with this catch. The ball is thrown, it has to be thrown. Chad Plummer, unfortunately, just can't come up with a catch. It's working against Donnie Brady. Gets around, nice move. Now here's the ball. He goes up. It's in there. It's in the hands. He tries to bring it into his body, and as he does, the ball falls down and falls incomplete. And as you say, with 53 ticks left in the clock, boy, I tell you what, heartbreaking for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Kahari Jones threw a strike. You wonder if 85 was on the receiving end, if the Bombers would still be on offense. And now it's the Eskimos' job just to kill the clock. Bombers do have a timeout. And they take it.
Well, they talked about the scenario of how hard it is to win in your home field, especially when you're hosting the Grey Cup. And boy, I tell you, look at that.
And a Prairie team has never had the opportunity.
Well, I guess you can say goodbye to that curse. A curse that has been talked about all week long.
12 of the last 15 Western Finals have been won by the visiting team. Ricky Ray riding the red-hot first half, and apparently the Eskimos just scored enough points, and now we've got a procedure call against the Eskimos. Bruce Beaton, the All-Star, jumped quickly.
Now you got to remember, the fact is right now they're already celebrating their mindset right now. They know they're just a few ticks away from the cup. They're excited. There's sometimes going to be that lack of concentration. Just the left tackle just going to kind of rock back out of his stance.
Well, it in all likelihood will be a rematch of the
illegal procedure. Edmonton 62, still second down.
Of the 77 Grey Cup game on the 25th anniversary of the Alouettes' last Grey Cup championship. They will be here in all likelihood against their arch rivals from the 70s. The clock will start with the snap of the football, and again Ray puts the knee down. And it will be third down, and the Bombers going to get the ball back one more time. Their deficit will likely be 5 points because Sean Fleming out to try this field goal.
Well, remember, they can still run time off the clock, take a penalty, and be moved back. But the biggest thing right now is, you know, run around back there a little bit. Kill some of the clock. Don't even give them an opportunity to come back.
Well, they can run 20 off of it, but that penalty stopped the clock after the timeout, so the Bombers are going to get the ball back one last time.
You can bet they're going to come after this, try and block this field goal.
Fleming from 22 out. And that is big because now, no, they said it, he missed it. I thought Fleming got it, and now it is just a 3-point game, and a field goal can tie it.
You have just taken him down and breathed another set of downs. Well, that sure is.
I thought it was in from our perspective.
It did look. I don't know what he was looking at. He's got it. You can see he's marking it over, but let's take another look at this one.
Well, let's see if this angle makes it look any different.
It looks like it goes through, but
wow, there's 30 seconds left, and it's just a 3-point game. Kahari Jones with one last gasp. Looks up the middle, incomplete.
Well, there's another talk of miscommunication right now. Arlen Bruce, Jamie Stoddard. Jamie Stoddard thought Arlen Bruce was going to the ball. Arlen Bruce thought Jamie Stoddard was coming to the ball. Neither of them made a move for the football, and as a result, the ball sailed harmlessly to the ground. They're coming after him, little pressure, delayed blitz.
Well, the way we see it up here, it looks like the Bombers need 30 to 35 yards to get into Westwood range. 25 seconds on the clock. Kahari Jones underneath. Plummer has a catch. Kellogg with the tackle. And again, they'll have to huddle quickly. It is a first down. Now they need about 15, 17 yards more to give Westwood a shot.
Good move to go no huddle. Don't allow the Eskimos to get in their defensive calls.
Harry Jones across. Arlen Bruce can't hang on. That does stop the clock with 11 seconds to go, but the Bombers needed that.
Well, Arlen Bruce just going to come across the middle. The ball's right where it has to be. You can see he's got it in his hands. Once again, Harry Jones is victimized by a drop pass by a usually reliable receiver.
Well, it looked like it was over when they turned it over on downs on their own 7. Jones with one last chance here, and 4 receivers to the left side. Mike Sellers is lined up outside. They go deep. Sellers is open. Incomplete. 4 seconds to go. Crutchfield with the defensive coverage.
Well, initially it looked like Sellers, as you see, they got 4. It looks like he is open, and he's just trying to judge where the football is. He loses sight of the football. It goes over the outside shoulder. He loses perspective of where the football is coming down, puts his hands out in a vain attempt to hopefully come in contact with that football.
Well, the Bombers need a miracle now.
Got to hope for a penalty.
Everybody on their feet. 3rd and 10. Jones behind Drover, and now it is done. And Tom Higgins and his Edmonton Eskimos will play on home turf in the 2002 Grey Cup.
Well, congratulations to the Edmonton Eskimos and to that man Dave Ritchie, who got his troops back in this football game when it looked like they didn't have any chance of coming back. They made it a football game. They dug deep, not dug in a
24 points for the Bombers to make it close, but Edmonton prevails by a field goal as we join Brenda Irving.
Well, John Avery, you silenced any critics that you may have had before this game. How did you come up with such big plays against the best defense in the league?
Like they said, big-time players make big plays when it comes down to it. A lot of people saw the Winnipeg game and they doubted us. I mean, they thought that we went down there to play possum. We played possum. They came down here doing the same thing that they did when we went down there. And we exploited them and we handled our business. That's what we did.
The big concern right now, your injury. Is it the hamstring, and will you be able to make it to next week's game?
I mean, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of praying. I'm believing in God that I'll be out there playing this weekend in the Grey Cup. But right now, I'm just going to enjoy this victory and enjoy my teammates. We all came out here. We all soldiers. We all fought. And that's the biggest thing about it. My offensive line did a great job. And that young man right there is a baller. Ricky Ray, baby, all day long.
Thank you. Good luck next week. Well, Ricky Ray, can you describe what kind of game it was for you today?
Man, we wanted to come out and get something going early, and we did that. We put up a lot of points early. Man, let them back into the game here in the second half, and we're just fortunate to come away with the win. But, hey, we're going to the Cup. We've got one more game to go, and we're going to come back, focus this hard, and try and get a win next week.
Tell me what was going through your mind as you were on the sidelines watching Winnipeg come back.
Man, it seems like we've been in a lot of games like that this year where it's came down to the wire, and our defense has stepped up and made some plays at the end of the game and really won it for us.
Look ahead to Montreal. What challenges do they pose?
They pose a lot of challenge, but we're going to celebrate tonight, take a few days off, and then get ready for them earlier this week. So we're going to just enjoy this one right now.
What's it going to feel like playing the Grey Cup game at home?
It's going to be awesome. This crowd was awesome today, louder than heck. We just want to come, bring the Grey Cup here, and try and keep it here in Edmonton.
Good luck next week.
Thank you.
So the Edmonton Eskimos win the West Final with a 33-30 victory over the Bombers. They earn a trip to next Sunday's Grey Cup game. Well, Tom Higgins, it was a nail-biter of a finish, but your team got the job done today.
Yes, we did, and hats off to Winnipeg Blue Bombers for fighting back. I know they had some injuries. They had to fight through adversity, but it sure is nice, obviously, to be on the winning side and have an opportunity to play one more week.
Next week, you look ahead to Montreal. What sort of things do you expect from them?
That's a dynamic football club and well-deserved to be in the Grey Cup. We're just going to have to buckle down and get ready to play our best football to be able to stay on the same field with them.
Well, home field advantage certainly worked in your favor during this game. What sort of advantage do you think it will be in such an enormous game like the Grey Cup with this stadium full?
Well, it's always nice to be at home. We've established some dominancy at home, and it's going to be a tough battle. The only people we lost to were the Montreal Alouettes here, so it's nice to be playing in front of your own fans.
Good luck next Sunday.
Thank you.
Well, Grey Cup Sunday kicks off with our very own tailgate party, including CFL stars past and present. Then it's the 90th Grey Cup game. The Montreal Alouettes will head west to take on the Edmonton Eskimos. For Chris Cuthbert, Chris Walby, I'm Brenda Irving. Thanks for watching.
CBC Sports, Canada's Olympic Network.